Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be joined by Melvin Manhoef in just a minute. If you've got any questions for Melvin, go ahead and queue up by pressing the raise hand button. We're now being joined by Melvin Manhoef. We'll get started with Donna Corby.
Hey Melvin, how's it going?
Great, how are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. This is a massive matchup for you against Corey Anderson. Of course, a big step up in opponent from your last two. Probably the toughest test you've faced in the last few years. Do you fully feel the magnitude of this matchup for yourself?
Yeah, of course. Everybody thinks, for me, it's like a test. I know I can do it. People don't think so, but I think I can, and my team. So it's a massive fight, and I want to shock the world. So I'm gonna be here and do the best and do what I do best. Knock people out and try to get a W, even if it's on decision or something else. But that's what I'm here for.
This is a fight where you're a big underdog. It reminds me a little bit of when Chael Sonnen fought Lyoto Machida, and it was where if Chael won, he was a title contender. He was immediately in the contention for the belt. If he lost, he ended up, hanging the gloves up after that. Is that kind of how you view this matchup? If you win, you're very high in contention. If you lose, maybe you have to consider your career.
I have two fights. I signed two more fights after the Bahati fight. I signed two more fights because before they're gonna do a show in Amsterdam in November, and then I said, okay, if you're gonna do the show in Holland, I want to do my farewell fight in Holland, and I I I said to them that listen, if I'm gonna do the farewell fight in November, so give me one fight before, so I'm gonna stay in shape. So that's why I signed for two more. But then the pandemic came, and yeah, you see there was no fight in Holland, and I fight here now. So I'm gonna do this fight, win or lose. I'm gonna do the last fight in Europe or wherever. I hope in Holland, and this is my farewell fight. So
Thank you.
Steve?
All right, Melvin, thank you for the time today. I've
yes,
got two questions for you. A lot of
yeah.
fighters and a lot of media have been saying that fighters shouldn't fight into their 40s after Anderson Silva's performance, but you've won your last two fights. So, what do you think about this issue?
It depends on everybody himself. And I think everybody has the responsibility of their own body and mind. And I feel good, and I hope that I have a great performance. But I feel good. So the last two fights, I also did it, and the guys were 29 and 27. And I won them. So, and this is a bigger test and higher test, I know, but I have full confidence in it, and I'm gonna do whatever I have to do. So my body say that I can do it still. So, but this is that we're gonna see that on Thursday, and after Thursday I have like one more, and then it's the end of my career. I think, yeah.
Well, and you said this is a big test, but it's also a big test for Corey because he's got a lot to prove coming into a new organization. So, how motivated do you think he's going to be, especially given how outspoken he was about the last place he worked?
Yeah, but this is like, he got, maybe this is his thing, with what he has there. And this organization, Bellator, is like they treated me like respect, and they give me this opportunity still, So I think for him, it's gonna be how you say this? It's gonna be very a lot of pressure also for him, because of course he wanna let the world see that he's like still the Corey Anderson, even that he has lost his last fight. So yeah, I think it's good for him, but we're gonna see what's gonna happen, because I'm not here for him. I'm here for myself, and we're gonna see.
Santiago?
Hi, Melvin. Greetings from Amsterdam. This is going to be your 6th main event for Bellator. How special have Scott Coker and Bellator been for you during your legendary fighting career?
Very long time since Strike Force. I have Scott is a special and really, really, really loyal and strict promoter. He's like what he say he does, and he take care of me, man. He take care of me. So. And I want to thank him for this kind of things that he did for me. He take me when he just signed with Bellator. He asked me, "Yo, can you still do it?" I said, "Yes, man. Let's go." And I'm still sitting here now. And now he gave me on the end of my career. He gave me like such an amazing fight. I think that's, for me, it's like very nice do on this level. To still get like top level guys and this organization. So I want to deliver the fans a pretty fight, and then I'm happy, man.
What would a Bellator Amsterdam event mean to you, Melvin?
Yeah, it means much. That's why I signed for 2 more, because I was, after the Bahadi fight, I was finished. And they said they came to Amsterdam. So I said, okay, then I want to do my farewell in Amsterdam, because this is where I live, So yeah, I wanted to do that for all my fans in Holland. But yeah, it's a shame that it couldn't. But maybe I have still one more to go. So, but let me first see how this fight is gonna go, and then I can decide what we're gonna do.
Garrett?
Hi, Melvin. Gareth A. Davis calling from London. How are you?
How are you?
Very well, thank you, my friend. Couple of things, first of all. There's a victory for you on Thursday night. How would you like Bellator to bring Ryan Bader to Amsterdam to fight for the title next year?
Ryan Bader. Oh, okay. For the title. Is it not Manhoef? Okay. If he brings Ryan Bader, I would decline. Because Nemkov is the champion, I think. But I don't know for sure.
Sorry, I'm just being dumb. Sorry, I'm having a senior moment. I do apologise. Really. I confused you then. If they, of course, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. I think lockdowns affected me in England.
Okay, no problem.
Yes, of course. If they brought Nemkov to Amsterdam, the champion to Amsterdam, would you like that contest?
Yeah, of course I'm gonna accept the contest. If I accept this one, of course I'm gonna accept the challenge to fight the champion. But yeah, this would be nice.
And while I wipe my face with embarrassment, how red it is. What do you think about people going up and down the weight divisions? Because there's weight divisions for a reason, and you've been like managed to go up and down all your career, even fighting, even higher than light heavyweight. Some of the guys have been. Yeah. So, what did you see last week with Lima and Mousasi that perhaps people look as big as other people, but sometimes they aren't, and that there are weight divisions for a reason? Do you think there's too much people changing weight divisions?
I think, I'm not the exact perfect guy to ask that, because, I swap a lot in the weight divisions. But as I got older, it's better to cut less weight. But if your body can handle it, then it's no problem to do. But if you saw the fight against Musashi and Lima, I think it was a great fight, and I think Lima did it very great. Although he was like a welterweight, he fought then middleweight. I think Lima did great, but Musashi was like, he was like top level again, So, but he's also going to switch up to the higher level, 205, and I think some people can do it and some people can't, but it depends on the person.
And finally, what are the kind of poses? What are the problems that Corey Anderson brings to you in this contest? He's a taller man.
He is taller. He has a good wrestle game. He moves a lot. So all these kind of things. But I don't think in problems. I think in solutions. Because for every problem there is a solution. So if I'm focusing on all the solutions, all the problems that he's gonna bring, and I'm focusing on all the solutions that I have to make, then I think it's gonna be okay.
Stephen.
Hey, Melvin. You said there's a lot of pressure on Corey going into this fight. Do you think he'll try to play it safe and just take you down?
I don't know what he's gonna do, but it doesn't matter what he's gonna do. I think it's better what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep the fight standing, and I'm gonna try to do everything to win this fight. You understand? Everybody has pressure. Corey has pressure. I have pressure, but for Corey it's more because he should win for me very easy, as people say. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen. So I don't mind that. For me it's comfortable. If I win, it's good. If I lose, people's gonna say, yeah, he's old and this. It's always like this. So I'm feel good. I feel good, and I only think about what I have to do in this fight, and we're gonna see.
Well, what about the pressure for you? I mean, you just said that you are sort of taking it one fight at a time. You're going to see how this fight goes, and then you're going to decide whether or not you're going to do your retirement fight, which you've pretty much said is your goal. I mean, a little while ago you said that you wanted to win the title and defend it in Holland. Yeah. So what's riding on this for you?
Yeah, when I win this fight and I can be like a title contender, of course, I'm gonna do it. Then I'm really blessed. Then I'm gonna do it for 100%, of course. But first I have to do this fight, and Thursday we will know the answer. And if the opportunity comes that I can do it, I'm gonna do it.
When you envision that retirement fight in Holland, who's showing up? Who's there for you? Like, is your family there? Your friends? Like who?
Yeah, all my family, my friends, all the people that supported me my whole life. I want to thank them also. And give them a good fight. This is very important. In my own country. It would be honored for me, man. It would be a blessing also.
Do you ever feel like you sort of carried the mantle for Dutch kickboxing? That scene is like was such a big scene, 10, 15 years ago with K1, and you sort of came from that world. And it seems like it's dropped off a little bit. There's glory and stuff, and it's around, but it's not as prevalent as it once was. Do you feel like you carry that on your shoulders at all?
A little bit, but not so much. The kickboxing is still in Holland is not as big as it used to be. But I'm doing this for a long time now. You're switching between two organizations like kickboxing and MMA. But nowadays I really find myself an MMA fighter and also a kickbox fighter also. But still, that chapter I closed it like 2 years ago, and there the kickboxing legend stopped.
Giancarlo.
Hi, Melvin. You spoke on kickboxing and MMA. You've been blessed with this great career. What have you attributed that to? This longevity in the sport like that?
One more time. Sorry.
Like, what did you attribute that to? Like, what do you think has helped you have this longevity in both sports?
What I think that I have that. Yeah, I had like so much fun in this sport. That's why I was always get motivated. To strive to be the best. Just what I said also before. It's just like a mindset. That goal that you have to reach something. You're there on your own and do your thing. This is the thing that drives me. And I think that drive what I had that keep me so long in this game, and I really love the sport, man. This is my life, I really live for this shit.
And final one for me, like for whatever reason, like let's say you win this fight and they don't give you Nemkov. In your career as a kickboxer and MMA fighter, was there an opponent that maybe got away or a dream opponent you wish you could fight that if you have the chance in your retirement fight in Holland, who would be the ideal opponent?
Oh, it's gonna be hard. I don't know, man. I will have to think that. Now 1, 2, 3, it doesn't come in my mind. No, not really. I don't know at the moment.
It's all good. Best of luck, man.
Thank you.
Jay?
Hey, Melvin, welcome back.
Hey.
I know they talked about the kickboxing scene, but last week, Musashi wins gold, Rainier Ritter wins gold in one championship. I mean, what's it like to see that success for your fellow Dutch fighters?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, man. And I think, like, just what I said, Musashi is like one of the best fighters in Holland, I think, and the next generation, just like Rani de Ridder, they're gonna come also now. So it's good for Holland, that they have like also guys who can carry on, because a lot of guys are going away. I'm going away. I don't know, Ellis is still here also, but for Musashi and Rani, there's like a bright future still, and I think there are gonna come more Dutch guys. Keep your eyes on Peter. Peter Buys also won championship. I think this guy is a phenomenal guy also. So I hope it, man.
And you mentioned it's almost this idea that you're expected to win. There's criticism that you're too old for this fight. I mean, does it motivate you? Does it fire you up to prove people wrong? Do you just tune them out?
Yeah, I don't need to prove people wrong. Of course I want to do that, but for me, it's like, it's only for myself, and my team. We work hard for this, You don't think that I'm going to train my ass off and then take a plane, come to America and think I'm going to lose this fight. Come on, guys. I believe in myself, and of course, this is the fight game, so it's a game that's going to hurt, and I'm not the guy who's willing to be hurting, so I'm going to do everything in my power to win this fight. So, and it's going to be a nice fight. That's what I know. It's going to be a nice fight.
All right, looking forward to it.
Thank you very much.
Ben?
Hi, Melvin. So you've fought all kinds of fighters throughout your career. You've fought some of the best. Where does Corey Anderson fit in amongst those guys?
If he is ranked number 4 of the world, he's like one of the best. So I think if he's the best of the best, and I can fight him, then I'm also best of the best. So, it's. I think I have to rank him also there. He just fought Blachowicz, and Blachowicz is champion now. So yeah, he's like top level, And what I heard, they underestimate him in the other organization, and he wants to prove that he is like legit, and he is. So I think he's like a top contender for me. So I think he's like one of the best guys that I have in a long time now.
And in your career, that's sort of just some crazy moments and big wins. Would a win over a prime guy like Anderson, who you've just called one of the best in the world, would you consider that one of your biggest wins?
Yeah, of course. At the moment, of course.
Thank you, sir.
Our last question comes from Simon Romero.
Hey, Melvin, looking forward to seeing you fight on Thursday night. if you are to get the win on Thursday night?
Simon, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, my bad. I might have cut out a little bit. So the question was, if you are to get this win on Thursday, what are the celebration plans looking after a big win like that?
Oh man, I'm gonna get drunk. For a long time, I haven't been drunk, so I'm gonna get drunk. This is a celebration plan, man. Because I can do nothing, I'm gonna take something in my room and get drunk because you cannot do nothing. So this is what I have to do, man. Party with myself. Ooh.
All right. Thank you very much, Melvin. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Bye.
We'll be joined shortly by Tyrell Fortune. If you have any questions for Tyrell, go ahead and use the raise hand button now.
New England Black Wolves, huh?
All right, we're now being joined by Tyrell Fortune. We'll start with Steve Jewin.
Tyrell, as always, thank you for the time. My first question is actually something that comes from a conversation I had recently where a fellow reporter referred to you as a guy that's hidden on Bellator's fight cards. Do you feel that way?
Sometimes, I think, there's just a lot going on, and they have a lot going on with, if you see the moves and pay attention to what Bellator has been doing. So I just think there's a lot going on, and sometimes you can get lost in the shuffle a little bit.
Well, do you feel like now you're not being lost in the shuffle now that you're being featured on CBS Sports Network in a main card fight?
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, I've been in the main card before, so it just goes back and forth. It just depends on where you're at, what's going on, who else is on the card.
All right, and how do you rank Said Sama as an opponent for you?
I've from what I've watched and what I've heard he's really good everywhere. So I think he'll be well-rounded opponent, and I'll find out when I get in there.
All right, best of luck Thursday.
Thank you.
Simon?
Hey, Tyrell, looking forward to watching you on Thursday night. The question I have for you today is, after going through some tough outings your last two fights, how excited and how are you looking forward to Thursday night?
I'm extremely excited just to fight, man. I came out of my last fight with, barely, I think it went over barely 3 minutes or 2 minutes. And I was just extremely disappointed because I just didn't get to fight. I felt like I had two performances in a row where I just didn't get to fight. And so that was just kind of nerve-wracking for me a little bit, just to, in more of a mental space. But I mean, I came out, right after that fight, I only had 2 days off and went right back into training camp. So for me, it was just, getting back focused, get back to the job and start, evaluating what I need to do next.
And if you are to get the win over Said Salma, what would that win mean throughout your career?
It'd just be good for me just to get back in the win column and getting the train running again. I feel like I was stalled out a little bit, obviously, with having the loss and then having a no contest and not really even being able to push that fight past the first round. So I'll be just happy if I can get in there and the fight can be completed.
All right, Donald Corby.
Hi, Tyrell. How's it going? Looking at how the one man who's beaten you is Timothy Johnson, and looking at how things have gone for him after that win, he's now very much considered one of the top contenders in the division. Where do you see yourself in Bellator's heavyweight division, sort of relative to the guys you fought?
I think I'm one of the best in the Bellator division, regardless of where Tim Johnson or anyone is at. Obviously he had a lot of success. I just think that plays more into a storyline as I start my journey back up to trying to get back to the belt. And I think it could be a great rematch in the future if all the cards fall in line.
I have a couple more if that's okay. One is, who wins that fight between Tim Johnson and Ryan Bader in your opinion?
Well, I think Ryan. I trained with Ryan Bader, so I didn't have much time in the cage with Tim Johnson. So, I made one mistake and went to sleep, so it wasn't much to evaluate. But when you look at Tim's Johnson last fight performances with Congo and Mitrione, I think Bader's a way better wrestler than he is, and he's going to have a way better shape than Congo is. So I think Tim's going to have his handful with Ryan just in every category.
And what do you make of this main event? You're just underneath. Obviously, you got a legend in Melvin Manhoef. Some people maybe say he's a bit too old, but have you got a prediction for this main event? Seeing the great Corey Anderson coming to Bellator against a legend like Melvin Manhoef?
Yeah, I think Corey Anderson's going to get the finish.
Thank you, Woody.
If I had to predict or bet money on it, that's what I would bet.
Thank you.
All right, Rick Sanchez.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
My question is, during this COVID situation, how prepared mentally you are for your fight coming up, and if there's any difficulty changing to the new restrictions or new protocols with Bellator?
For me, COVID didn't really do too much. I got keys to the gym, so I set up my own practice times away from everybody else and do what I need to do still, and never prevented me from getting my workouts in. But the protocols, they don't bother me at all. I'm here to fight. So whatever I need to do to get in the cages, whatever needs to be done.
All right, thank you.
Jay, followed by Lenny.
Hey, Terrell, welcome back. Having that great start to your career, undefeated, then suffering that first loss, I'm just curious, is the mindset of an undefeated fighter different? Did it shake your confidence suffering that loss? Or on the flip side, did it take any pressure off of you?
I think for me, it helped open my eyes. I started to really depict where my flaws were, where I needed to change and grow in my game. And if I really wanted to be considered a top contender, what things that I needed to add to my camp and what things I needed to add just to my training regimen. And so for me, it was just more of an eye-opener and really evaluating myself. My confidence is still there. I still believe in myself. And so it wasn't really much of I didn't really pay attention to that in that sense of my confidence. It was just more okay, what am I missing? And I knew, there was a lot of things that played into that loss. And so I just, sat down and evaluated myself and made sure I make better decisions in the future.
What were some of the things you did add coming out of that loss then?
What was that?
What were some of the things you did add to your training, to your camp coming out of that loss?
Neuroforce 1 was the very first thing I went and got, was another trainer, to focus on my weightlifting, my weight, my overall health. I have a nutritionist now who controls my diet, and just started to add those things in because I didn't have them before. It was just me and Trevor kind of doing everything. And I realized, I needed some more help. I needed to go out and actually invest in myself to get myself to the next level.
Good stuff. I'm looking forward to this week.
Thank you.
Lenny?
How's it going, Tyrell? How are you?
Good.
So your opponent this weekend said will make his Bellator debut against you. Do you feel like how you've grown up in the Bellator banner, you've had all your fights in the Bellator cage in your professional career, do you feel like that will give you an edge come fight day?
No. I think, obviously I'm comfortable. So I think, maybe just being comfortable and this guy being his debut in Bellator, so he might be a little edgy because of that. But you know, I don't think that plays too much. That's all up to him if that makes a difference to him. To me, it's just the same. I'm getting in the cage I've been getting into, and I got a job to do.
Thank you so much, and good luck this Thursday.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Tyrell. Appreciate your time. We'll be joined shortly by Derek Anderson. All right. We're now being joined by Derek Anderson. We'll start with Steven Morocco.
Hey, Derek. I just wanted to get your side of the story on what happened with Paul Daly, the fight with Paul Daly previously. How did that experience go down for you?
It was crazy, man. He actually backed out on me like 3-4 years ago out here in Connecticut. And, you know, at that time I was kind of like, whoa, I mean, it was weird. But then this last time out there in Italy, you know, I was like, you know, I was blown away because it already happened before. And, you know, I mean, I think he kind of got scared, you know, like I'm sure he cut his weight and he was very tired, exhausted. You know, we all get a little delirious and stuff like that. But, you know, I didn't really cut much weight and I was kind of excited. And then they told me he didn't make weight. And I was like, hell yeah, it's Christmas time, you know. And he's like, did he say it's Christmas time, you know? So I think he just kind of was like, realized I felt a lot better than he did. And, you know, that I wasn't scared. And, you know, I'm sure he's seen my fights and that I fight pretty ruthlessly sometimes. And, you know, I was going to come after him the same way and not be intimidated at all. And I don't know. I mean, yeah, it was gnarly. He just backed out, man. So I couldn't believe it. And, you know, so no fight. I was pretty upset at first. Well, you know, I mean, still upset about it because, you know, that we were main event. You know, it was a big name on my record. I could have got his extra money from missing weight. That would have all been great. But you know, I simmered down. Bellator got me lined up again with somebody else, Achilles right now. So that's real good. You know, I got paid for that one. And, you know, we're not main event or anything like that. But hopefully I'll work my way back up again soon, you know.
You got paid your show money when he didn't show up?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was just I got paid all one check for that anyway.
Wait, one check for that for the Milan thing?
Yeah, there was no show and win bonus. I was just getting paid one bit of money, so it worked out.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So he says he has one fight left. He wants to do one more fight. Any residual bad blood there? Any desire to be his last opponent? Or are you just
honestly? I mean, I don't know. I think I mean, whatever, sure, but like, I mean, I don't want to waste my time for one, and for two, I feel like pretty good about. I don't think I could have gotten more confidence off of fighting and beating him than him chickening out on me twice. So I'm good.
Okay, thanks.
Steve?
All right, Derek, thank you for the time as always. We've heard a lot about Daly, but not so much about Killers Moida yet. So can you tell us what you think of him as an opponent in this fight?
He's 12-1. I'm sure he's a real tough guy. I'm expecting to go the distance. You know what I mean? I've been the distance plenty of times and stuff like that. So, it'd be great to knock him out or tap him out. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to win. I'm sure he trained hard. I know he feels like he's stepping up this time, I'm sure. And, that's a dangerous dude. That's ready to do that. You know what I mean? Always that's why I was dangerous with Daly, because I wasn't scared. You know what I mean? So, I haven't seen too much about Achilles. Couldn't find too much about him, but it's a fight, and he's got a good team behind him, and probably trained really hard. So let's mix it up. I'm ready to go.
All right, and where do you see yourself rankings wise with third straight win?
I don't know how much these wins help me right now, but I want to show that. Obviously, I'm not scared to fight anybody. You know what I mean? The more worried you make me, the better I'm going to fight, really. And I love to step up. And the training camp's the hard part. We train so hard. The training camp's the worst part of it. So I want big fights. You know what I mean? Rankings wise, I just I don't care. I'm ready to go. I want to fight them all, the best. You know what I mean? The biggest and the best. I barely cut any weight. I'm gonna get a little comfortable at welterweight. Put a little muscle on. I don't really, I'm a skinny guy. I don't really lift a lot of weights or anything. But I think it's time to put a little bit of muscle on, get comfortable up here. I can still make lightweight, but we'll call it. And I'll move up permanently. And I want to fight the biggest and the best. And I really want to test out that barely cut weight stuff against some big guys, because I always got that good cardio and speed and skills. And the bigger the better, man. But yeah, no, I definitely want some big fights, man. I want a title very soon. So Lima's on the list. I always want MVP back. I wish I didn't have to miss that opportunity. I want to be the shorter guy mostly. There's some other welterweights out there that I'm still got the height on, but I like to be the shorter guy just because my style. I like to go forward a lot, throw some big combinations. I got good head movement, so I know it's not boxing, but I got good kicks too, Muay Thai. It's gonna be hard to catch me, and I think I got a really great chin too.
Great answer, Derek. Looking forward to the fight on Thursday.
Thank you.
Julian?
Hey, Derek. So with it being right around a year since your last fight, how do you expect that long of a layoff to affect your performance?
Usually I think a layoff it makes me really hungry, and I'm a really aggressive fighter already. Like I said, I really came after the last guy. I was so hungry and ready. And I had a little bit of a build-up towards my camp in training and stuff like that. And then this one, I was just coming off the couch really, off some injuries and stuff, and taking a little vacation. And then they were like, fight Paul Daly 3 weeks notice. And I was like, yeah, sure. And then, I just got ready, and, that didn't happen, but then we just kept in camp for this one. And, in a camp, you don't really, you kind of just grind out a lot. For me, the way we do it, we just smash through everything we got to do, and get ready for the fight, so there's not so much focus on just becoming comfortable with everything where I'm at. We just did a lot of sparring and stuff. I usually like to do a lot of bag work and just real technical stuff, but sparring's good. You get those angles, and I feel really good, but I usually think a layoff is kind of good for me, honestly, because I get so hungry to get in there. And I was so hungry for the last one, man. I freaking came after that guy. It would have been better to chill out on him a little bit. And this time I think I'm ready to chill out a little bit, because we also had a game plan for Daly a little bit more to just kind of use my reach a little bit for a change. And, I'm taller than this guy too a little bit. So maybe use my reach a little bit, but my combos are where it's at, so of course I want to keep the combos on and stuff like that. But I think I'm just growing up as a fighter and ready to be a very tactical guy, even though I still always got that banging in me. I don't know. Time off, I don't know if it still probably doesn't hurt me. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think it used to help me, and like, you grow as a man in those times off sometimes. And, like I said, camp after camp, those are good sometimes, but, thinking about who you are as a fighter and as a man is good sometimes too. And, I'm just a very, skilled, fighter. And so, I got a lot of confidence in myself. And, I always, I don't know if I always did. It wasn't about confidence before. I just, fought. And now I think I get to feel that I'm a very good fighter. And, I don't know. I'm always ready, man. I just feel like I grow all the time. And, I feel like I grow. So time off don't hurt me.
Very nice. So you were speaking in training camps. What, if anything, has the COVID outbreak done to affect your training camp for this upcoming fight?
Yeah, man, that's tough. I guess it started to kind of, the gyms opened back up for me and stuff. At least, so I got to use 24-hour fitness again. At least after, I think even for the daily fight, I got to hit some treadmills and stuff. I think, which I love. I love to hit the 24-hour fitness and stuff. Training gyms for MMA training. Lots of people were doing work under different circumstances and stuff like that. And we weren't. We had some setbacks at first, but we've opened up more and more, and I've gotten it done. We just always get a really good training camp, and that's one thing that makes me feel confident, is just training so hard, So I made sure to do that, and I'm in great shape. And COVID, it's a hassle, but right now even we're sitting here all week long. When I was out there in Italy waiting for Paul Daly, we were just sitting there all in quarantine in the hotel, and that's tough. That's a big tough part about weight cutting and stuff. Even I barely cut any weight, but still, it's like I can't imagine for some of these guys, and just the whole situation. All you got to do is sit in your room and think about fighting. So, it's a little tough, man. But we're fighters, and hey, man, they're paying us to be here and fight, and that we're lucky to be doing that still in times like this. So I'm happy.
Donna?
Yeah, hi Derek, how's it going? You've had a couple of fights now called off with Paul Daly, a couple of fights with Michael Page called off as well. Are you kind of sick of these Brits at this stage? You want to just fight Americans now?
Yeah, no, I'm just sick of because even getting paid for these fights, it's not it's not doing anything for my career. It's just kind of extending my extending where I am right now, and I'm trying to move up. Like I said, I want big fights, and I'm trying to move. Getting paid for nothing and surviving all year is whatever, but I want to go do the work, man, and I want to fight. And it's not about Brits or Americans or anything like that, but and like I said, I do want MVP. Daly, I'm kind of over at this point. He backed out on me both times. Me and MVP are 1 for 1. And I was definitely injured, but I just wish I fucking bit my lip anyway and fucking did that one. But it's whatever. So whenever it comes, I'll be ready. And I don't care about Brits or whatever, anything like that. But I just want to fight, man. I'm tired of waiting because it's not doing anything for me, money or not.
You mentioned that you like being the smaller opponent. Obviously, you would be a whole lot smaller than MVP if you were to fight him. He's a guy who likes to control that distance, control that range. I mean, how would a game plan against someone like a Michael Venom Page work for you? How would you get inside that distance without getting hit with one of these sort of hammer blows that he likes to throw?
Well, I think I'm really good at bringing the fight to people, and moving on me or not, and trying to throw a good shot to time me or not. I got good timing myself, and better watch my timing on your timing. And, I can take a shot better than anybody too. So, hit me, man, let's go. That's one thing that's real good about me is I'm a good fighter. And, I think he knows that too. And a lot of people know that. And that's why the fight got set up in the first place a couple times, is because I'm always ready to fight. Man, you hit me, I get excited, So, you've seen a few of my fights, we start trading blows. The guy tries to high five me, you better watch out. Because I'm about to get excited. I've never been pissed off at somebody. So if somebody taunting me would be great. I want to be pissed off at somebody. I hope he taunts me. You know what I mean? Like, I've never seen any taunt from him or Daly, and I've heard that they're both assholes or whatever. And like, you know, I want to be mad at somebody, man. Like, there's this fighting, you know what I mean? And I sure have a good time doing it. But, you know, I remember a lot of times when I was younger and getting mad at people, I felt pretty unstoppable, you know what I mean? And, you know, it's just that's a good fight. Everyone thinks he's tough, man, and I just want to do it. So, you know, I like to do that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I just want to step up.
Thank you.
Simon?
Hey, Derek. Nice to speak with you once again. Wishing you the best of luck on Thursday. But the question I have for you today is your last few fights have went to the judges' scorecards. How are you looking to change that in your fight on Thursday?
Yeah, you know, I mean, it happens, man. Like, you know, I think I really came after Bamba the last time, you know, and I do a lot of heavy bag, and I just freaking gave it to him. Like, and he put his helmet on, and, you know, I could have relaxed a little bit, and, you know, just like I just threw freaking bombs on him, and you know, he was ready for that because I was, you know, I think you know, he was worried about it or whatever. So you know, I think if I just like, you know, I was trying to, you know, I try to bait guys to try to hit me, because when they try to hit you, it's a little better for you, you know what I mean? But some guys, you know, don't try to fight back as much, and you know, they stay safe, and you know, it's good when they try to hit you because they're on their open, you know what I mean? So I try to bait dudes. I was going to try to bait him, man, but I couldn't relax. I was so jacked up. I had a year off for that one too. And, you know, I couldn't relax off him. I just gave him those big shots, and, you know, I could have opened him up a little bit more. I just could have relaxed a little bit, give him some uppercuts, some straight punches down the middle. You know what I mean? But I was just throwing big bombs on him, and, you know, I didn't really change it up too much. That was a mistake. Before that, yeah, you know, Busho was pretty tough, you know what I mean? Lasted. I almost finished him. You know, we spent the whole first round wasting time on the ground. And you know, I mean, I took that one a little bit short notice too. I was kind of tired, so I took the third round easy. You know, it happens. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think I am still a very good finisher. I just don't have them lined up in my last few fights as much. You know what I mean? People got to watch out for my ground. They don't know that. You know what I mean? And you know, I like to keep it a secret, I guess, anyway. So whatever, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you know, I'll get some finishes, man. They'll come around.
All right, last question from Rick.
How are you?
Good, brother. How you doing?
Good. My question is, during like your layoff, there were any frustrations going on? Like now you're coming back to the Bellator, or any frustrations coming on to, you know, going to get any fights coming up?
You know, there's always frustrations, man. You know, Bellator offers me fights here and there, but yeah, you know, like I said, before Daly, I was kind of laid off with some injuries and stuff like that, and I had just had the, you know, I had the injury that I pulled out of MVP for, and I was just recovering for that. I was getting ready to go again, and then got jacked up and training again, because we just train so hard, man, and like, you know, yeah, it sets you back, man, and it's a big pain in the ass. And then, you know, Bellator offers me fights decently enough now. When I was younger and I wanted them all the time, and it was always, you know, nothing could hurt me. It was great. You know, I was like, give me fights. And, you know, they weren't always there. But now they seem to be there more than I'm ready, which is unfortunate. But you know, I'm tired of letting things get in my way, you know, car accidents or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I think, you know, like I said, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, maybe I could have gotten some shots or something in my groin for that MVP fight, because I wish I just did it anyway. And I was in great shape for that fight, you know, so I was like, I couldn't really train, but I felt like I didn't even need to that much anymore, because I was in such great shape from coming off the last one. And, you know, I just don't want to let things hinder me, you know what I mean? Whatever I got to do, get shots or, you know, ignore things. I'm real good at ignoring pain, but, you know, I don't know. You just want to be the best you can be. And like, you know, I'm just tired of waiting on anything, man.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Derek.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, guys.
We'll be joined by Syed Soma shortly. All right. We're now being joined by Syed Soma. If you have any questions, use the raise hand feature. We will start with Steve Jewin.
Syed, thank you for the time today. My first question for you is about how ready you feel for Tyrell Fortune. You've got a half dozen or so wins in a row on your record. So what do you feel about this next level up going to Bellator?
Hi, I feel pretty confident in my abilities. I've been training with high-level people for quite a while, so I feel pretty confident. I think I'm up there, ready to compete with the higher-level guys.
Were you surprised that Bellator offered you a featured fight on the main card right away for your debut?
Yes, I was very surprised and pretty happy about it too.
All right, best of luck on Thursday.
Thank you.
All right, Rick.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Good. My question is, now you're on with Bellator. Now we can see, like, if there's any surprises we're going to be expecting for this fight coming up?
Any surprises? I don't know. I've watched a couple of his fights, and he's very like the same style every time. I expect that. I think. I don't know how long he's been in MMA world, but it looks like 4 years. I don't know if he's been training before that, but people don't grow that drastically between fights.
Mm-hmm.
So I got like an idea of what would happen.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Donna.
Hey, how's it going? A win over this guy. Obviously, he's a big name in the division. He's coming off the back of, not the best run in terms of results. But where does a win on Thursday put you in the Bellator heavyweight division?
To be honest, I'm not really sure. I'm just getting used to all of this. It's like a new, it's like a worldwide promotion. I have no idea, honestly. I'm just trying to do this step by step, try to get this win, and then go from there.
You feeling comfortable being in such a big promotion? Obviously, there's a lot more things like what we're doing right now, these media things, and you have to do the quarantine now because of the whole.
Yeah, so I'm just going step by step. Like I said, I have to deal with it and do what I can. I like it. I'm happy that I'm here now.
All right. Looks like we lost Donna.
Okay.
We'll go to Gabriel.
I don't think he answered his question all the way.
Gabriel, your line is live.
Thank you. Hi, just wanted to ask, what's it like from your experience personally? Obviously, you talk about doing more media, but you go from the lower level to now, Bellator, it's going to be televised and all this other kind of stuff. What's that experience like for a guy coming up?
Man, it's kind of crazy, you get all this, I guess, attention all of a sudden, and people, you see how people started noticing you, and then they tell you like, hey, we actually noticed before, we just didn't say anything yet because you weren't ready. But so it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
What's been your favorite part of being on the big show?
I don't know yet. I can't put my finger on it, but I enjoy it.
Fair enough. Final question, just what do you want fans to know about you, as this is probably going to be their first introduction to you for a lot of people?
Just keep an eye out, I think I'll surprise people. I'm a smaller heavyweight coming from a regional show, but I believe in my skill and my training. So just keep an eye out.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, our last question comes from Simon Romero.
Hey, Simon Romero from MMA Island here. The last question I have for you here is the only time that you've actually tasted defeat in your professional career has been your debut. So what have you done to kind of avoid that problem of feeling that taste once again?
So to be honest, in my opinion, I was off a 5-year break from competing. And it was just rust, man. Like I had ring rust. I probably should have taken an easier fight before I took that fight. Steve Martin is a very tough guy, he's an amazing fighter. So I took that fight like fresh off not fighting for 5 years, and I was like, I'll do it. Skill wise, I was fine, but I think the adrenaline kicked in, and I gassed out. And then I used to fight 205, so different paces, so I had to adjust my pace for heavyweight and just work on my nerves, really, like getting more relaxed in the ring.
All right.
All set.
That's it. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Be joined shortly by Corey Anderson. All right, we're now being joined by Corey Anderson. We will kick things off with Donna Corey. Donna, your line is live. All right, still having audio issues. We'll go to Steve Jones.
Corey, thank you for the time today. I know you fought a lot of legends in your career already, names like Glover Teixeira and Shogun Rua. So how do you compare getting this chance to fight No Mercy Melvin Manhoef?
I mean, it's just another fight to me, As for Shogun, fighting Shogun, that was one the legend, the name of the legend kind of like struck me going into the fight, especially I think it was like my 8th pro fight, 8th or 9th, to think, oh, I'm fighting Shogun already. So that was kind of like a shocker for me. And I had that, I don't know, say adrenaline, what you call that, that respect of him being one of the legends I actually looked up to in the sport, But as for Glover, I didn't really look at him as much of a legend because I didn't really follow him until I got into the UFC. And same with Melvin, I'd never really seen any of Melvin's fights until they told me that's who I was fighting. So as for looking at him as a legend, I can't take away what he's done in the sport. He's definitely beat some of the guys, and he's a legend in the combat sport. But that legendary factor doesn't register in my mind because he wasn't a person I actually watched growing up.
Fair enough. And knowing this is your Bellator debut, and you obviously had some issues, shall we say, in your previous promotion, how do you feel now? How much more comfortable are you, and how does that improve things going into the fight for you?
I mean, I feel free. I've talked to my wife. I talked to my coaches about it. To me, it's like I'm starting all over. It feels like my very first fight ever. Just the pressure isn't really, none of that pressure, none of the extra burdens on your back. You don't have the president over here talking trash about you. You don't have the commentators and everything saying negative things or saying good things. You got to try to impress somebody. You don't have to worry about making a needle move to get a title fight like they told me there and stuff like that. I'm here to fight. And I feel if I win, I move forward, and that's the reason why I got in the sport of martial arts in the first place. I grew up watching Matt Hughes, training with Matt Hughes in college, and he was the champ at the time. He used to tell us all the time, fighting and wrestling is similar. You beat the guy in front of you, you move forward. You work hard and you earn that position. That's all you got to do. You go out there and you beat the person in front of you and you move forward. There's nothing else to it. And that was like one of the reasons why I got into the sport, thinking like, okay, if I just beat these guys, I move forward. And then when it got to the point where things started to change, it wasn't about beating the guy and moving forward. It was more about, are you selling tickets? Are you a fan favorite? How much money are you going to make us? Okay, how many followers do you have? Is people talking about you on social media right now? And then they kind of realized it took the love of the sport away from me. As far I wasn't going out there to fight just to win anymore. I started going out there to fight to win the fans over and to promote myself and get a big enough following so they would finally give me the title fight. And now that I don't have that baggage and that stress anymore, I just feel free. Like I can go back to just doing what Corey Anderson does and just perform to dominate my way, get the win, get my hand raised, get 2 checks, and go home.
All right. We look forward to seeing that on Thursday. Glad to hear you're so happy now. Thank you.
Gabriel?
Hey, Corey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. I mean, to follow up on that a little bit, I just wonder, being in a new promotion, you're still fighting MMA. Can you relate the feeling for people who don't experience it? Do you feel like you're going into a new job or, is it the same thing, just different people?
It's the same thing, just different people. After I signed with Bellator, a lot of the interviews were saying, like, oh, what do you see different here? Like, why is it that you left Bellator or UFC to go to Bellator? Dana White is saying, oh, you can compete better over there, this and that. And like I told them, it's the same risk, but with a higher reward now. In UFC, they didn't value me. When we asked for more money, they just shut it down. As for Bellator, their first offer was just a big amount of money compared to what the UFC wanted to pay me, which made me realize, okay, this company sees my worth. So why would I risk getting hurt for a company that doesn't see that and not going to pay me anything when I can go get paid my worth and make some money for the same risk where if I can end up in the hospital, I can end up with a broken arm, a leg, brain damage, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, at least I got paid for what I'm doing. I got paid for the job I signed up for instead of getting paid for just being another number to go out there and cockfight.
All right, we'll go to Garrett.
Good evening, Corey from London. Gareth A. Davis calling. How are you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself, Garrett? Love the accent.
Thank you very much, Corey. I wanted to ask, first of all, does a victory over Melvin Manhoef, do you think for you propel you into title realm?
I'm not really thinking about that. I think that was a problem I had in the UFC. After every fight or before every fight, I was telling myself, I win this one, this fashion, this and that. They got to give me a title fight. I've been on a winning streak. I'm ranked in the top. And at the end against Jan, I feel like that was part of the thing. And that's why I went out there and fought the way I did. I didn't go out there and fight the way Corey does. I went out there and fought the way Jan tried to fight. And I paid the ultimate cost because I was worried about if I go out here and dominate this guy in his style and beat him in a certain way, I get a title fight next. And John Jones was there. There's no way to go around it. He said my name, blah, blah, blah. And as for this camp, I haven't even thought about when I get a title fight. I haven't thought about what this fight would do to me next. All I keep telling everybody is we're going to go out here one fight at a time. If we got to fight 2 fights, 3 fights, 4 fights, or 1 fight, either way, it'll be worth it because we're getting paid our actual worth. We're getting paid for these fights. That's my job to fight. Am I saying I don't want to get to the title as fast as possible? No, but is the title like the main focus right now? At this moment, Melvin Manhoef is the main focus. Go out there and get a win with him. After that, we talk to Scott, we talk to Mike, and we'll see what they say. If they wanted me to fight another one, fine. If I fight the winner of whoever fights for the belt next, fine. If I jump whoever and fight for the belt next, I'm ready for it. But either way, my job, I sign a contract and go out there and perform.
Obviously, you've talked about the just now in the previous question about how obviously financially it benefited you and you could see the advantages of that and maybe things weren't going your way in the UFC. But did the strength of the division attract you as well?
I mean, some of the biggest decisions had nothing to do with like the people in the organization and the division. It was more about self-worth, setting myself up financially, me and my family financially. The way I put it is I was in the UFC for 7 years. And when people think that, like, wow, are you a professional fighter? You're a UFC fighter. You got lots of money. But if you look at my bank account, you look like I'm just on a regional fight scene. I've got 7 years fight on a regional fight scene because the risk wasn't worth the reward. You know, the things I was doing, the money I was making there was not worth the people I was beating. And now I look back and they releasing people's pay, and I see there's guys that's been in the UFC 1 or 2 years that was making more than me already. And it was kind of like a slap in the face. Like, it took me so long to realize how much I was actually worth before I asked for it. And that was kind of a big thing. You know, the hardest part for me to sign that new contract was the fact that since I got in the fight game, since I got in the UFC within 3 fights I was in the UFC, the mindset was always to be the UFC champion, UFC champion, UFC champion. Those 3 words are engraved in your head. And when you go to sleep, when you wake up, when you're training, all you're thinking is UFC. So it's hard for me to think when I sign this contract that I won't be fighting for the UFC belt. But other than that, everything else made sense to go to Bellator. But the only thing that I struggled with was those 3 words that was engraved in my head. Then there's the division here. There's less 205ers here, I think. But the 205ers here can go, I feel, not all of them, but a lot of them can go compete with maybe not the champions, but some of the top guys. But then you take Nemkov, Bader, Phil Davis, Lyoto Machida, the guys who are already performing at those top levels, and you put them back over there, and you already know they can perform in the top. So either way, I was going to fight tough people, but it was just about figuring out which one was worth going to fight the top people. Which one are you going to get paid the more for to fight the top people? Why risk getting knocked out or hurt for a little chump change where you can go get paid and actually be able to live a life and take care of your family?
Final little question for me before Danny moves me on. Melvin Manhoef is a legend in our sport. Is he arguably the biggest name you've ever fought?
No, I don't think so. I think the biggest name I fought was Shogun Rua or Glover Teixeira. You know, Melvin has definitely done his thing. He's beat some of the best in the world, and he's been in a lot of promotions. But I just feel like his name isn't as well known in the fight industry as those two, Shogun and Glover. You know, those guys, like both of those guys fought John Jones, you know, who is today our pound for, well, can't say pound for pound now because it could be, but our GOAT. We still say he's the GOAT. A lot of people still say that. Can't take away that from him. And Glover and Shogun has fought John Jones. Glover went 5 rounds with John Jones, and I beat Glover up pretty good. Shogun went and got finished by John Jones, and I fought 3 rounds of him. So I think those are the bigger names than Melvin, but Melvin is in the top 3 for sure.
Steven?
Corey, you were talking about trying to fight a certain way to get a certain result in the octagon, you know, title shot, whatnot. Do you think that being in Bellator will actually change the way you fight?
Yeah, like I said, it's a new beginning for me. So being in Bellator now, I guess it's taking me back to the way I fought when I got here, you know. The way I fought prior was just to win. My coach in college always told me, you don't go out there to win like today's cool. You don't go out there to win by 1 point when wrestling. You don't go out there just to coast through. You go out there to dominate. You impose your will on a man. And he was my fight coach for a little bit too, and he said the same thing. We go out there, we're going to take these guys down, you're going to make them carry your weight, and you dominate. You're going to make them want to quit because they're carrying your weight for 3 rounds. You just put it on, if it's standing, if it's in the clinch, if it's on the ground, you're just putting pressure on them constantly, and make them go through a living hell. And, you know, I feel like I can fight that way again here. As for in the UFC, when you would do that, it was, this is boring. This guy's boring. Boo. This guy sucks. Stand him up. And that's the stuff Dana White and Mick Maynard and all those see. And when it comes down to picking who's going to move forward in the rankings and who's going to get the next shot, they take that into perspective. It's like, well, the fans doesn't like this guy's style, so there's no point in promoting him for a title fight. That's going to lose his money. But then you got these guys out here swinging like rock'em sock'em robots, knocking each other senseless. Like, that's what we like. That's what everybody wants to see. They love the blood. They love the gore. We're going to promote that. And I feel here, it's not going to be that way. If you win, you move forward. And I can just go out there and win.
Why do you think Bellator wanted to get into the Corey Anderson business?
I mean, I feel the Corey Anderson business is still a hot market. You know, granted, you think about it, my last loss, 4 of my last 5 fights were against all top contenders except for Pat Cummins, and the one loss I have is now the world champion. I mean, if you think that, why wouldn't he want to get into the Corey Anderson business? If he's willing to leave the top promotion and his last loss in the last 3 or 2 years is against the former world champ now, or the guy's getting the title shot for the title, why wouldn't we take that guy? That's one of the top in the world. We bring him over. Not only would that bring extra media, and he goes back and tells people the way he's getting treated, maybe he can get other people from the UFC to realize UFC isn't the only monopoly out there. You know, come get paid somewhere else. You can get treated better elsewhere. And so far, as we've seen, I think 3 or 4 other guys from the UFC since I have signed have come to Bellator as well.
Do you have anything to do with that?
No. I know I've talked to a few people about it, but not the 3 that signed. The 3 that I know that signed, I had nothing to do with it. 2 of them I know we have the same management, and I think he actually said something to them about the way things went for me coming over here, and that might have played a role, but I never said anything to them personally. I spoke to the media, and maybe they heard my interviews. I would like to think I had a little impact on it, but I won't take credit for it because I don't know them.
Why do you think it took you so long to realize your worth?
The 3 letters, UFC. You know, when you think about UFC Gold, you get infatuated by it because you thought about it for so long. You know, there's a lot of people, like I know kids in the gym now, and when I was in the UFC, I used to tell them, UFC isn't the end of the road, bro. There's Bellator, there's other places. Go somewhere else. If you can go somewhere else and get paid, go do it. And then when it turned on and it was in my lap for the same situation, I was like them. I was blinded by that thought, the UFC Go. I want the UFC Go. As for those guys who, a lot of people say, oh, my whole life I want to be a UFC champion. You know, I didn't want to be a UFC champion until I was in the UFC. I didn't want to fight really until I got to the Ultimate Fighter. And I was like, all right, if I'm in this, I might as well go all out and make the best of it. And, you know, it's just when you are stuck in your way, as a person like me who, when I have a mindset to do something, I usually do it. And the fact that I always told myself, I'm going to be the UFC champion before I retire, for the fact to think if I was to leave here now, I would never meet that goal. And I feel like that was probably the reason why it was so hard for me to go ahead and just say, all right, it's time to part ways.
Last question. I have to ask your opinion. What do you think of Israel Adesanya going up to face Jan?
It's a fight that the UFC will make, you know. Like I said in the other interview, you think about the 205 division, you got Marata and Glover fighting this weekend, which is number 1 and number 2 versus number 3 or 4, whatever it is, which would be a title contention fight you would see. But why in the world would you book the same week that fight is booked, you book the 85-pound champ versus 205-pound champ? Now that means the winner of this fight next weekend just has to wait or fight someone else. And the way the UFC works is like if you decide to wait, they're going to try to push somebody in front of you that's willing to fight one of the top guys. And if you don't wait, you go out there and fight, you can take the chance of losing like I did against Jan Blachowicz. And that's just the way the game, the cards fall in the UFC. It's about what's going to make them the most money. It's not about what makes the most sense anymore.
All right, we'll take 1 or 2 more. Donna?
Hi, Corey. How's it going? Sorry about the connection issues earlier. If you stuck with the UFC, if you go to Bellator, the chances are you were never going to end up getting that matchup with John Jones. He seems pretty intent on moving up to heavyweight. Does that disappoint you a little bit that you're never going to get that fight?
You find a way to make peace with it. You know, at the time when I was still in the UFC and all that stuff was going on and he was out and everything, it was kind of a thought in my mind. But once I leave, you break bread with that. You know, my drama and my beef with John Jones is behind me. And when I put that behind me, I made a public apology to John. I personally reached out to him and apologized to him for things I had said in the media and the things I said to him and crashing his meet and greets before. And like I said, you just mature and you learn how to put things like that behind you, and it doesn't really affect you anymore.
So you're not going to be doing any more shenanigans trying to get a matchup with Vadim Nemkov, no?
No, that's behind me. I've matured.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, we'll go to Lenny.
How's it going, Corey? How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself, Lenny?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for asking. So with the move over to Bellator, I know a lot of people in here have been asking you about the move to Bellator and the UFC, but it's quite a hot topic. You know, when you got announced from Bellator, you know, the MMA community kind of crashed a little bit. They were a bit surprised that you went over to Bellator. So, and what Scott Coker said about the light heavyweight division, he said that he believes he has the best light heavyweight division in the world. Is that same with you? Do you think you're in the best light heavyweight division in the world? I
feel like I'm in the midst of some of the top in the world. You know, there's you never really know who's the best in the world till the two top guys fight. But I know in the UFC I was in the top. I know here I'm in the top. I just know the top here and the top there are the elite 205ers in the world, period. Can you say the 205 here is the actual best until somebody beat John Jones? It's debatable. Now that John Jones has moved on, yes, Bader did a lot of great things and Nemkov beat him, but at the same time, you got to give respect to John Jones. You can't take away what he's done. And I'm a realist, and I keep it real. And I feel like until someone beat him, we can never really say we are the best. Unless we accomplish the things he have or beat him, we're going to always be chasing that GOAT thing. And until we get the GOAT name, in order to get the GOAT name, you got to break the records. You got to do the things he's done. And so far, I haven't seen anybody do that. Can we all compete with John Jones? 100%. As we see in his recent fights, he's been going decision. I think he lost the actual fight against Dominic Reyes, but I think the top is here, and there are some top guys there, and the top guys here can definitely go toe-to-toe with those guys, and we'll win for any given day. Look at Michael Chandler. He just left here and went there, and right away got thrown into the alternate for the title fight. But I would never claim who's the best and what's the best until the best actually match up and prove themselves.
All right, we'll take our last question from Giancarlo.
Hi, Corey. This whole pandemic has been a really difficult thing for some fighters to get training in. How have you adapted your training to make sure that you're prepared for your Bellator debut?
I prepare for my training the same way I prepare for anything. I'm a grinder. I'm a hustler. I'm gonna make way and make things happen. When the pandemic hit and all the gyms got shut down in New Jersey, I literally have a garage in my house and I have cars and toys in there. I put everything outside and just matted the gym out. Got the few guys I knew that had jobs that would have to be COVID free and would invite them over and train. Then as time went on, I ended up buying weights and installing weights in the garage. And I ordered heavy bags and jump ropes and resistance bands and ground and pound dummies and everything you need to start a gym off in my garage and to stay focused and keep working. And this was before the Bellator announcement came, before I signed with them. And then by the time I signed, the gyms were back open. And then I was able to get in contact with my coaches and realize it's time to go all gas, no break. And to put the grind I have been doing the whole quarantine lockdown, the COVID lockdown, on top of the things we've been doing since the gyms open back up, I just feel phenomenal. I feel confident. I feel ready. Like I just said, I feel free. The mind isn't stressing like, did I do enough? Did I cover all the bases? We've been working nonstop since the last fight. As soon as we got to the hospital, we went back to work. And I'm just confident in everything I've done, my partners, my coaches, and the time we spent training, that we are prepared to go out here no matter who they gave me. Nemkov, Manhoef, Bader, Machida, Davis, whoever it was, we're going to be ready regardless.
All right, our last one, Simon Romero.
Hey, Corey, Simon Romero from MMA Island here. I have this last important question. You're moving over here to Bellator for your debut on Thursday. Were there ever thoughts of shaving that beautiful beard you have going on over there?
It actually was a thought, to be honest. I shaved my head Sunday in quarantine. And what I was thinking, like, if I'm shaving here, I might go ahead. I wasn't going to shave it all the way off. I've never been beardless since I finished wrestling in college. But it was actually a thought, like, while I was shaping it up, like, should I come down a little bit? Maybe a new promotion, new me? And I was like, nah, beard gang forever.
All right. Thank you very much, Corey. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll be joined shortly by Alex Polizzi. All right, if you have any questions for Alex, go ahead and press the raise hand button now. Yo. Hey, what's going on, dog? Have a seat here. Me. This camera. Yeah, you'll hear questions from me over here, and then you can just continue looking straight at the camera.
Righteous.
Hey, how are you? Hello?
Hello?
How are you?
Okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah.
All right. Now you're coming to with Bellator. If there's any fighters in the lightweight, heavyweight division you're looking forward to see in the future, or any mindset coming up after your win coming up?
You know, it's tough to say right now, and as cliche as it sounds, I'm just looking forward to the fight forward at hand. So right now, if I had to answer you, it'd just be Julius Anglicas. Pressing forward, it's just the kind of the next guy. I'm gonna be disappointing to a lot of folks who follow MMA, but you guys probably know a lot more of the names than I do. I just show up and punch who they want me to punch.
All right. Thank you.
All right, we'll go to Donna.
Hey, Alex, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm not too bad. Obviously, you're coming off the back of a win. You know, it's a quick turnaround for you within a couple of months against Rafael Carvalho, a big name. Where does a win on Thursday night put you in terms of the division?
In terms of the division, again, you guys are asking questions that are a little bit above my pay grade. I show up, I fight in a cage, I try to hurt people as best as I can. I'm hoping that a win on Thursday lands me in a position to fight somebody else for some more money, and with Bellator being happy to see me back. Maybe if we can get our stuff together, maybe it won't have to be at the Mohegan Sun with all the COVID restrictions. Maybe we can get some fans in the audience, but really, I mean, that's
You're not the biggest fan of the COVID restrictions, no?
Well, yeah. As far as the COVID restrictions go, I mean, I haven't experienced anything else with Bellator. They're handling it really smooth from what I've seen, but it'd be nice to get the fans back in. Get the fans back in for the live events again. I'm hoping that it'll come sooner than later, but we'll have to see where the year takes us.
You mentioned wanting, to get back in there quickly, and another big fight that's happening. I mean, it's a big night in your division, right? The main event. Will you maybe, after you're done, after you get the W, maybe sort of head back and have one eye on whoever wins that one?
Well, they've made it clear that I won't be able to watch it live, but maybe if I can get back and get cleaned up in my room enough, I'll be able to catch it on TV.
Are you interested in fighting either of those guys?
I'm always interested in fighting, whether it's one of the winners for contention series or later on down the road. If they're in light heavyweight, I probably want to fight them.
All right, Steve.
Alex, are you a little surprised that after getting a win over a former champion like Rafael Carvalho that they didn't put you on the main card?
I've had some people that have told me about the kind of magnitude of that and that, why he's still on the undercard. But I mean, this is still just my second fight in Bellator. I know that you have to kind of earn your way up, and to go from, you know, a prelim single fight to the next fight just being on the upper card, it'd be great. But at the same time, I realize that you know, it's a process, and I'm willing to keep punching people until I make my way up there.
All right, best of luck Thursday.
All right, Ben.
Alex. So in your last fight, when you went over Carvalho, you went the distance for the first time in your career. So were you glad to have gone that full 15 minutes and got that experience in, or were you a little bit frustrated not to have had yet another finish to your resume?
I think that, as boring an answer as it could be, a little bit of both. You know, as fighters, we're always looking for the knockout, the big exciting finish, because it looks good on a record. And I mean, that's the goal, you know, trying to put the other fighter down in the most dominating way fashionable, the most dominating way possible. But I think it might be a good thing to have gone that full amount of time, that distance, as you say, because, you know, as you mentioned, it's just the experience of getting that full 3 rounds in and knowing that I can press it there, and I can impress upon the judges that I won the fight, even though there wasn't a knockout or a tap out or a submission or anything like that.
And just one more from me. Can we expect to see any more temporary tattoos on fight night?
The temporary tattoos are going to keep coming as long as I can keep not having permanent ones, I guess.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you very much, Alex. Appreciate it. We'll be joined shortly by Janae Harding. All right, we're now being joined by Janae Harding. If you have any questions, go ahead and use the raise hand button. We'll start with Gabriel.
Hello, Janae. Can you hear me?
Yeah, all good.
Perfect. We touched on it in our interview yesterday, but I just wanted to follow up. Working with Bose and Disney, first off, you know, I think the big one helping to promote the remake of Mulan. Just how did that partnership and how did they reach out to you for that one?
Yeah, it's crazy. They just reached out to me over Instagram, just slid into my DMs. And I guess it was something that, of course, like I wanted to do straight away. It was their marketing team that they'd partnered up with. And then we just looked over the deliverables and I was like, for sure, like either way, I would love to get on board with this. I gave them my fee and there we go. Like it's just some of the kind of new options, I guess, especially with this new world, we need to collaborate more on social media and get that kind of virtual connection a little bit more, especially considering the retelling was all premiered on Disney Plus instead of as the original plan was to be in cinemas. So yeah, it was really good for me.
Do you think that Kat Zingano will fight Chris Cyborg next? And how do you see that fight going?
Yeah, I mean, I think possibly it's one of those divisions where it's kind of hard to see a clear number one contender, but that would be a fantastic matchup and a fantastic fight. I think it would be a close one. I mean, I really enjoyed Kat Zingano's last performance. She showed a lot of maturity and a lot of experience. So for that reason, I mean, she could change it up and possibly get the win over someone like Chris.
Thank you.
Steve?
Hi, Janae. Thank you for the time. I've got two questions for you today. The first is, how do you feel about being in the United States for this fight right now when everything is so tense politically and with the election?
I know, it was super crazy. It was really only until like Friday that I realized that I would be here for the election. It hadn't even crossed my mind. And then now that I've got my other corner, Mallory, here, and she's also kind of, I guess, expressing like the intensity of the election, and then even the fact that her hometown Denver, they're starting to board up some shops and stuff. I'm really starting to understand the credibility of what kind of time it is right now. And it's crazy. I mean, like in Oz, we try keep like pay attention to the election over here, because what happens over here does affect us. But at the same time, all I watched was like the first debate, and then now I have no idea what's going on in a sense, and I've just been concentrating on this fight. It'll be super interesting come Tuesday how everything goes and what goes down.
And do you feel like your fight here with Jesse Miele is a good distraction for people?
I hope so. I really hope everyone's kind of, paying attention to what's good in the world, sports especially. We had a good card last Thursday, and we have another one this Thursday. So I'm hoping you guys kind of tune in and guess take your mind off the negatives in the world at the moment.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Donna.
Hi, Janae. How's it going?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Great to hear from you. Your fight with Liam McCourt was one of the first casualties of the whole coronavirus pandemic. You know, it was one of those things where maybe something was going to be worked out by May, evidently not even close. Now you're fighting Jesse Miele. Do you think that fight with Liam McCourt is ever going to happen, and are you hoping to get that fight?
100%. And I know that in interviews, she's also said that she would love to honor it. So I think it's something that after she comes back from her surgery, we can definitely figure out a date that best suits the both of us, and hopefully also a location. I guess with everything at the moment, it's kind of hard to figure out. I really don't think the UK will be an option. And after, I guess, the Italy and France, she may have to come over to the States, and I'll meet her here. But whatever we can do, I know that we're both keen for that matchup. So if we can, hopefully early 2021, that'll be awesome.
I'm not super clued in with all of the political goings on in Australia, but I do understand that air travel is not exactly the easiest thing to come by. Getting from Sydney or from particularly Victoria to the States, not so easy. Can you talk us through how exactly you were able to get to Mohegan Sun for this fight?
Yeah, I mean, East Coast especially. I much prefer fighting on the West Coast. It's a little bit of a shorter leg, but I have fought the Mohegan Sun before, so it was Sydney to LA to Boston, and then we had to drive down 2 hours. So it was a little bit of travel. I mean, all up from the point that I left my house to the point that I walked into my hotel room, it was about 31 hours. So obviously that kind of puts me behind, but at the same time, this is my fifth time fighting in the States. I'm almost used to it. I kind of know the tricks of the trade. I'm pretty well traveled in general, living in the UK and living in Asia a little bit as well. So I kind of know what to expect, and I just sort of take it with the gig. It is what it is. It's part of Fight Week now, and we just get it done.
It's been a pretty crazy time in Australia. I understand that different parts of the country have more severe lockdowns than others. What have your family and stuff been making of that, and were they in any way concerned about you getting on a plane, going to America, where there's a huge amount of cases? What's that been like for you?
Yeah, I mean, they almost stressed more than I did. Like, I was just like, I just want to fight. Like, I don't really care where it is, and if like the whole place is ridden with COVID, I'll figure it out. But of course, like once I got over here, I really understood the substantial difference between Australia and the US in the way of cases. I mean, I was coming from Sydney. I think when I left, there was only like 2 cases in all of our state, let alone coming over here and just knowing how much more prominent it is. It's sort of just like, I guess, and the really average thing is that I'm from Queensland. I'm currently in New South Wales. So, unfortunately, the Queensland borders were closed for so long, so I couldn't even see my mom. I haven't seen her in maybe like 6 months or so, just because I haven't been able to pay for like quarantining in both areas and spending a month of my life in hotel rooms. So, of course, she's been concerned, and then I guess it's heightened because we haven't been able to see each other. So, I'm just hoping that, once I come back, we also have our elections going on at the moment. Things may change. It's kind of at that point where we're really lowering our COVID cases. So by the time I come back, I'll be able to go home and see my mom and see my family and kind of, I guess, de-stress them from all my traveling and what I do.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, last question goes to Lenny.
Hello, Janae. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for asking. So you've been bouncing back from boxing and MMA. Which career are you most invested in?
100% MMA. I've let boxing go now, and I knew that as much as it was improving my striking, it was also sort of taking away my attention from the things in MMA that I needed to work on the most. So yeah, so now it's all MMA, and I'm really focusing on getting that belt.
Yeah, so well, we have that said. Your last fight was a boxing fight, and that was almost a year ago. Was it with the year away? What have you kind of learned why you haven't been able to compete?
Well, I've been super lucky. As much as COVID kind of hit at the start, of course, it changed the training regime up a little bit. And then the other thing is, I mean, it closed some of my gyms that I used to go to. So I ended up changing gyms. But all in all, it was for the positive. I'm now working with a really solid team. Everyone's super consistent. The facilities at my new gym, King's Academy, are really, really good. So it's almost been a blessing in disguise in a sense. And I've started working on those things that I was neglecting and I needed to work on. So now I feel like I've definitely fallen everything into place, from working on that boxing to now adding in the wrestling and jiu-jitsu a little bit more, and kind of being a little bit more of a well-rounded fighter.
Thank you so much, and good luck this Thursday.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Janae. We'll be joined shortly by Jalen Bates. All right, we're going to be joined shortly by Jalen Bates. If you have any questions, go ahead and use the raise hand button at this time. All right, Jalen, so your first fight with Bellator. Tell us how everything's going so far.
Everything is great on weight. gonna get some rehydration a little later, and probably hit some more, a little more weight cut. But other than that, everything's great. Love it.
And all the preparations with the pandemic going on, how does it affect your game plan?
Honestly, it really hasn't. I've been training ever since the pandemic started. I was training before the pandemic, ever since my last amateur fight. So I've been really prepared for this moment for a while now, since January, honestly.
And can you tell us anything that you've done to prepare for this opponent in particular?
Smash. That's it. That's all I see, and that's all I'm trying to go in there and do. Hurt him, damage him in any way possible.
We'll go to Donna.
Hey, Jalen, how's it going?
Howdy.
There's never been a more exciting time to be a bantamweight in MMA, right?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of opportunity on the rise, and I'm going to, I'm an opportunist, so I'm going to seize it all.
Yeah. There's, in all the various divisions, be it the UFC, be it in Bellator where you are, there's so many names. Anyone sticking out for you?
Ooh. Patchy was going back and forth with me a couple months before his fight with the champion now, Archuleta. So, eventually when I'm 6-0, we'll get there. We'll get there. I want him on my 7th.
Anything for maybe James Gallagher?
He doesn't impress me. Not in the slightest.
You excited about making your pro debut, and obviously under the Bellator banner as well? I mean, it's a huge opportunity. You're opening the show in a time where MMA is being watched more than ever because it's one of the sports that has been back. This is an exciting time for you to be making your pro debut, yeah?
Oh, yes. I'm excited. Put on a show. I want to show the world that I'm a martial artist. I'm not just a fighter, and we're going to do everything in our power to prove that.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, Gareth.
Good evening, Jalen from London. Gareth A. Davis calling. You're 23. You're making your debut. We don't know a lot about you yet. Tell us how you've come into the sport and why it drew you. You're the new breed, as you say. Why did it draw you in?
Well, it's a long story, but we'll start from the beginning of just bullies. Like, I feel like most fighters, there's a time when you're bullied, and there's a time where you had to fight back. And there's a time when, in middle school, I was bringing the whole crowd to fight one bully that everyone thought I was just going to lose to. And that was not a good day for him. So that was the start of everything. And ever since then, I knew I wanted to be a MMA fighter. Ever since a girl showed me my first arm bar. So I was like, this is dope. This is sick. So, yeah.
All right, Lenny.
How's it going, Jalen? How are you?
I'm doing fine, my man. How are you?
Yeah, glad to hear. I'm doing fine. Thank you very much. So you're 9-0 as an amateur in MMA, 7 finishes in 9 fights. Can the fans expect to finish in your professional debut this Thursday?
Absolutely.
Straightforward answer. I like it. Thank you so much, and good luck this Thursday.
Thank you.
We'll go back to Gareth.
Sorry, Jalen. I don't know what happened. I got cut off then. You were just telling me back in middle school you were getting bullied. It was a fascinating start to your story.
Yes. Yeah. So everyone thought I was going to lose to this, this renowned, the popularity contest never stops no matter where you go. And since then, he brought the whole school. I had 4 friends with me. Well, one was my brother, so I had 2 friends with me, and ended up beating him in front of the whole middle school, and never got caught though. So that was awesome. But it was always fighting bullies growing up and learning to defend myself in peculiar situations because I was a skinny guy. I'm still a skinny guy.
So on that day when he presumably he was the school bully then, and he was putting his weight around, probably a much bigger guy than you as well.
Oh yes. I'm still. He was maybe a couple inches taller, but you can tell he had more meat on his bones. But us skinny guys, we cut. It hurts way more when we hit you.
And what did you know at that point? kind of known in your life at that point? You were always going to, you weren't going to back down, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yes. I knew that any confrontation that was going to be brought upon my doorstep that I would confront in full force, and I wouldn't be scared. Yeah. Ever since that day, ever since that day, I kind of just catapulted and took everything more serious. And I got the first UFC game, and I was just like, dope. Okay, these are fighters. Like this is real. Like I was watching WWE, and I was like, no, this is real. The real stuff. So ever since then, I was like, that's what I want to do, and I defended myself in any bully situation.
I'm sure you're going to tell this story over and over. Did you have to be the man in your house at a very young age, or
No, my dad did not let us win. My dad was we would always wrestle with my dad. We grew up in a real, two other brothers. One was my age, and our dad would hold us between his legs, and he would pinch our noses, and we would try to wrestle. He would never let us win. And that's the key there. There is not really, I wasn't raised in a household where we bred weakness. We're built on strength and honor. And ever since then, I was just like, we just continue going. We continue to push and fight forward no matter what.
Well, you sound amazing. Do you feel like you have a genuine destiny in this sport then?
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you for hearing that too.
No, I can't wait to see you fight, and I can't wait to meet you as well. You sound amazing. Thank you.
I appreciate you.
All right, our last question comes from Steve June.
Hello, Jalen. Thank you for the time today. Earlier on the call, you mentioned that you don't rate James Gallagher very highly. He's 11-1 so far in his career, and you're just making your Bellator debut. So how have you formed that opinion, and what would you like to say to him if you actually get the chance to go face-to-face with him?
Well, I'm no disrespecter. I don't disrespect people. I just don't think that highly of people as well. I don't have expectations for anybody. The only person I expect highly of is myself. So if I saw him, I'd say, hey, you're an awesome fighter, and I would love to fight you. It's all respect at the end of the day. I have no ill will or ill manner towards anybody, but I do not, see him on my level, because there's levels to this sport, and you guys will see that as time goes by.
All right. Best of luck on Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Jalen. Appreciate your time. We'll be joined shortly by Sumiko Inaba.
Beautiful.
All right, we'll be joined shortly by Sumiko Inaba. If you have any questions for her, please use the raise hand button now. Okay, we're now being joined by Sumiko Inaba.
Hello.
We'll get started here with Ben Allen.
Hi, Sumiko. So your last amateur fight, I believe, was last June. You had a bit of a longer amateur career than a few people. What made you decide this was the right time to turn pro?
My last fight, I decided at that point that that was going to be my last amateur fight. If I won that title, that I thought at that time that I was ready to move on to the to the pros. And I did. I got the belt at the Cowboy Fight Series, and yeah, and I was super excited to move on to bigger, better things. And then I ended up in Bellator, which was awesome.
Now, just talk to me a little bit about the sort of changes you have to make in your preparation, such as in your training from an amateur fight to a professional fight.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, sure. So what sort of changes did you have to make in your training moving forward from to a professional fight from an amateur fight?
The only thing that was kind of weird was, of course, just this whole year with the COVID stuff. But I'm lucky enough to, my boyfriend's also a professional fighter. So me and him got most of our training in together. And honestly, I think I grew complete over this last year into a MMA fighter. Most of my fights, my last fight actually got stopped on the ground, so I can't say that. But I am more comfortable on my feet. I am a stand-up fighter. But through the course of this last year, I have trained and obtained a lot more skills to become a complete MMA fighter. So, yeah, I think I'm ready for the, professional 5-minute rounds.
And just one more from me. How do you feel about making your pro debut under the bright lights of Bellator?
I'm super excited. This is awesome. Bellator has the most amazing, production here. They've taken care of me the whole time, and with everything with COVID and their safety and everything that they have to do for the fighters, it's been an amazing experience.
Daniel?
Hi, Sumiko. Dan Yanofsky here. How are you doing today?
Hi, good. How are you?
Very good, thank you. You joined a very talented but crowded flyweight roster in Bellator that includes Alima Lay McFarlane. What can fans expect from you to stand out, to separate you from the rest of the pack?
I am gonna come out with a bang. I think that my stand-up, like I said, is something that I like to do, and I feel like that's gonna make a big statement in the 125, the flyweight division, for sure.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go to Gabriel.
Hello, Sumiko. Can you hear me?
I can. Thank you.
Perfect. So Sumiko, we've seen Bellator sign several prospects at 0-0 or 1-0, AJ McKee, Alima, others like that. What does it mean to you that you don't have a pro fight, but the second biggest organization in the world is saying, hey, we want this girl on our roster?
I think that they believe in me, that they, can build me up to be a top contender for, for the belt. And it's an amazing thing. I can't be just more than thankful for Bellator for giving me this opportunity. But I think that, yeah, they see something in me that there's potential to be one of the, top contenders.
Coming from Hawaii also, is there any just, I guess, feeling or idea of, hey, I'm following Alima Lay because Bellator has such a foothold and they've done events in the state?
Yeah, it's amazing to have, a fellow Hawaiian, be the champ. And they have definitely done really, really well. I went to both of the events that they did throw on Oahu, and it was amazing. The energy and everything that Ilima brought there. Hawaii has such a huge support, behind MMA fighters, and I'm going into this fight feeling that too. So I'm excited.
Safe to say that when things clear up, that's the number one place you want to be a part of, is be part of a Bellator fight night in Hawaii?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I thought that was going to happen in 2020. I'm sad that it didn't, but it's all good, maybe next year, December of 2021. So I'm excited for that.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
I will take a couple more. Lenny?
Hello, Samiko. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very, very much for asking. So 7 fights as a professional, and you got 5 finishes in that time. You got 4 by KO and 1 by submission. So it's safe to say you like to get the finish. Will you be hunting for the finish this Thursday?
I do like the finish. I am coming into this fight trying to be a little more calm. I'm known to just right off the bat go for the kill, and sometimes that's not always, that doesn't always plan out how you want. So I'm gonna come out in this fight a little calmer, I think, and just the experience that I've grown over the last year, I think that I will be able to, it's a 5-minute round. I don't have to rush anything. If the knockout is there, of course I'm gonna feel it and it's gonna land. And then if the takedown is there, I could get the takedown and, finish on the ground. But I'm not going to be searching for anything. I'm going to try and let this, it's my first pro fight. I'm going to try and feel it out. But we'll see. I see all that now, and we'll see what happens.
Perfect. I like it. Cool, calm, collected, and, taking in the moment as your first professional fight. I like it. So I'll move on to my last question. As we mentioned earlier, that you fought on the Cowboy Fight Series in your last amateur fight. How was the experience? And was Cowboy in attendance? Did you get to kind of meet him and share some experience?
Yeah, Cowboy was the one that gave me my belt, which was awesome. I got to fight right in front of him. I was the main event. Just the whole experience kind of set me up for, moving on to professional. I flew all the way out to Virginia, did my weight cut, and just the experience of traveling and doing all that, it really did help me to put me in a good place of how this fight week had played out. So, yeah, it was an awesome experience. Super exciting. It was great exposure. Super cool to meet him in person and fight in front of him for sure.
Thank you so much, and thanks
Thank
for your
you.
time, and good luck this Thursday.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll head to Rick for our last question. Rick?
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, good. My question is, now coming to Bellator, if there's any pressure or nervous going on into your mind right now, going to this fight?
Definitely. It's a big production here. There's a lot going on. I mean, I'm trying not to be nervous right now, but I'm definitely nervous. It's all excitement, nervousness, though. None of it is like, it's all, just new. So I think that's where it's coming from. But it'll get easier, less nerves as it, the next few fights come. But excited more than anything.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Simiko. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
We'll be joined shortly by Austin Vanderford. If you have any questions for Austin, go ahead and use the raise hand button now.
Okay. Okay.
All right, we're now being joined by Austin Vanderford. If you have any questions, go ahead and use the raise hand button. We will start with Donna.
Hey, Austin, how's it going?
It's going good.
So, your last, your initial opponent, COVID positive. Your last fight before that, COVID positive as well. You must be sick to death of hearing about COVID-19 at this stage.
yeah, and honestly, I was supposed to fight in May, and everything got canceled then too. So, it's been a roller coaster for sure. But I'm happy to be here now, and thankful for Bellator to get somebody short notice and be able to put on a fight on Thursday.
This is a very basic kind of a question that just kind of has to be asked. You're feeling good. You're totally clear. You've had as many negative tests as needed.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I definitely, I had the symptoms, when I got it, when I had to pull out my fight. Up until then, I'd felt really tired, and I didn't, I chalked it all up to being at the end of a fight camp and all that. But as soon as I got the positive test, then all the symptoms hit me. I lost my smelling, my taste, my body ached really bad, and all that. But I'm young and healthy, and fortunately, it was a really quick pass through.
And so you definitely would. Your message to the public would be, maybe take this thing seriously.
Yeah, it's so, man, that's such a hard thing. It's so tough for me. I see so many sides of everything, but I know for myself that not to underplay it all, but I was sicker this year alone. With I got the flu this year. Actually, after my fight in Israel, I got the flu when I had gotten home. So, but the weird thing about it is just how it affects everyone so differently. And then, I think it's important. And to me, I think it's just about being a good person, being a respectful person. And just because I don't want to wear a mask, I'm still going to it just out of respect to the rest of the people. Cause some people do feel like it, does make a big difference for them. And I want to respect that.
One more from me. Obviously, you had to enter the bubble a couple of days ago. Did you get a chance to go out and cast your vote?
Yeah, I voted right before we left. So yeah, my wife and I both we voted this year, and today's a interesting day for sure.
We won't be staying up all night.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go to Gabriel.
Hey, Austin. Just wondering, I know you guys have posted a lot on social media, you and Paige, about making the move to American Top Team in Florida. I'm assuming this must have come up about making that a more permanent move before. Why was now the right time?
I think, with everything, with COVID going down, I mean, we moved to Florida and ironically, got COVID from doing it. But, I think it was just the right time. My wife had made some big changes in her career for the time being. And yeah, it felt right. Our managers helped us along with everything. And we're an affiliate in Portland, and my head coach, Fabiano Scherner, who, I still consider my head coach, he was a proponent for us going and trying it out and being down there, and it's tough. I feel like ATT down there is one of those places, especially for myself, being as competitive and just wanting to be the best. It's tough for me to imagine going there and, spending like a week and going back home or a month or something. I think it's something that, I want to just live and breathe it and be there. And, it just happened to be the right time.
Looking at the long view, you're at middleweight, you're a top prospect. I mean, you just had the title fight in your division. What were your thoughts on it? And as a contender, do you see yourself, that's the ultimate goal, to be the guy to take out a guy like Gegard Mousasi to win it all?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I fight to be the best, and I fight to win every fight. And, I think if I continue to do that, it's all going to play itself out. And I think that should be everyone's goal. If you're fighting, you want to be the best, you want to fight for a title and all that. So, yeah, I did. And, I think stylistically I'm a good fight. And, I'm excited for the day that I get that opportunity for sure.
Gareth?
Hi, Austin. It's Gareth calling from London. Good to see you with clothes on.
Good to hear from you, buddy.
It's almost a year since you fought last. I mean, what have you managed to put together for yourself in that last year? Obviously, the COVID tests notwithstanding that someone mentioned earlier, but how have you progressed your game in the last year?
Yeah, it's just been one of those things that, unfortunately everyone had to go through. And I was actually supposed to go to London and fight in May. So, it's kind of a bummer that I didn't get that opportunity. But, I've tried to stay as busy as I can. Chael puts on his Submission Underground shows. I was able to compete against some really high-level guys in that. And, from May on, I've just been wanting to stay ready and be prepared for when the fight started back up. Unfortunately, I got sick and I had to push the fight back a little bit. But really, I feel like I've done everything I could to progress and get better, by moving to American Top Team and doing all that. So, I'm excited to go out and showcase.
9-0 overall, 3-0 in Bellator. Is it just important to keep that win column going now, like you say, as you rise up the middleweight rankings?
Yeah, but, I think it's, almost equally as important to show that I'm growing and progressing and getting better. I think, I talked about before, my goal is to fight for a title and continue to get better and get to that point where I get that opportunity. So, more than anything, that is what I really want. But of course, one goal in mind, and that's to go out and win every fight and, just be focused on the fight at hand. I got a really tough opponent on Thursday and, I feel prepared and ready to go out and get the victory.
Before Danny cuts me off, I'm going to ask two questions in one. What do you know about Chris Curtis? And is your wife, Paige, really going into bare knuckle?
So the funny thing is, my opponent's actually changed. It's not Chris Curtis anymore. He tested positive for for COVID. So my new opponent is Vinicius de Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
And I know he's fought some big fights. He's fought for Bellator in the past, and he comes out. He's got some things that make him a dangerous fighter. So I think I'm well rounded. I think I'm gonna rely on what got me here to the show, and I feel confident that that's gonna be enough to go out and get a victory. And then for your second question, my wife, she did sign with Bare Knuckle. And this was kind of a hard thing. I'm really happy with where things are right now. Of course, I'd be a liar if I said I didn't want her to be here and join me in Bellator and all that. But, that decision took a lot of soul searching for her, and she felt like at this point in her career, she needed to make some changes and to continue to compete with the top girls. And I think what she's doing now is gonna extend the longevity of her career. I know it sounds kind of ironic because she's going to fight in bare knuckle, but she's only 26, and this gives her the opportunity to work on some things, really work on her striking, be a much more dangerous striker. And then also on the side, knowing that she's more than likely going to come back to MMA, to start to improve on some of the things that she could improve on, and to really make her a much more well-rounded fighter. And, I'm biased, but in my opinion, be one of the best girls in the world.
Good luck against Vinicius. Can't wait to see you. Go get the job done.
Thank you, brother. Yep, we'll talk after.
All right, we'll go to Dan. Take a couple more.
Hey, Austin, how you doing today?
Doing good, thank you.
So you're facing a new opponent, Vinny De Jesus, who is different, but has much more, I guess we could say, experience this year, we could say, considering you've had a little bit of a layoff. How difficult is it to prepare or face an opponent at the last minute, especially one who has been active recently?
I don't really think that it's any difficult. I'm a professional and I stay ready. I'm ready. I'm more than anything, I'm focused on getting better myself and growing my skills and rounding myself off. Being at American Top Team, I see every style every day. And just as much for me as it is for him. I don't think he's fought someone like me before. So, it's going to be different for him as well. So, like I said, at the end of the day, just being a professional and being fortunate for Bellator to go out there and get a new opponent for me. And, I'm excited to fight on Thursday. It's been too long, man. I would have definitely fought a lot earlier in this if I could have.
Completely understandable. Just got one more question for you. With Paige going to bare knuckle, is it going to be an issue in regards to you and her working together in training and whatnot, her being in your corner, you being in her corner? Is there any issues on that front?
No, and her and I are both realistic on the situations. Of course, we corner each other for fights, but we both know, hey, if there's a better option for you, then 100% go and do that. There's no hard feelings for us. We just want the best for one another as far as our careers and fighting. No, I mean, really, American Top Team has really set up a good bare knuckle program right now. Thiago Alves just went and had his debut, and I thought looked amazing. Fighting somebody who already had 4 bare knuckle fights or whatever. So they've got a good little crew going there, and it's kind of cool to see. American Top Team's got like its own little bare knuckle fighting team, and all the coaches there are world class, so experienced, and we still go to practice same time every day, do all the same stuff. So really nothing's changed for us.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Rick.
Hey, Austin, how are you doing?
Doing good. Thank you so much.
My question is, right now you said you got sick from the COVID in the past, you and your wife. Yep. What motivation can you give your fans out there in your media world who are going through this COVID situation right now?
Could you repeat that one more time?
Sure. What motivation you will give your fans out there in the media world
Yeah.
who have cases right now going through with COVID?
Give just some words. Yeah, I think man, it definitely, it's a serious issue going on right now. And you gotta stay as healthy as you can, and just try to live a healthy life right now. And for myself, I was fortunate to have a mild case and all that. And I just hope that those who are sick, that they just go through the mild cases, and just be respectful to people.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll take one more from Simon.
Hey, Austin, hope you're doing well. First of all, I'm really digging the hat. I don't know if that's new or what's going on there, but I got to ask you, how nice is it going to be that you're able to use all your tools now that you're entering the MMA world, as your past few have actually just been on Submission Underground?
It's so nice, man. I even doing interviews up for Submission Underground, is, talking. I'm an MMA fighter. I was just doing that stuff to stay active, and I'm very fortunate for Chael for putting that on and giving me the opportunity just to continue to compete and all that. But I think for almost every single one of them, I'd gone to sparring the next day, or the day before, Saturday, done hard sparring rounds, and then went and competed. So it's relieving. I'm really happy to just go out there and do my thing and do what I do. And I'm just so thankful and fortunate that this is what I get to do for a job, and go out and fight. I love the fight.
Awesome. So I appreciate the time, and I wish you the best of luck on Thursday.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Thank you very much, Austin. Appreciate the time.
Nice.
All done.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today, and we will see you again Thursday night.